Wonder, Bono, Bette Midler and Sting. It must be a real privilege to play with somebody like Stevie Wonder, is it?
It is. To watch what he does, like when you're just rehearsing, he's a comedian. He's always cracking jokes, always being extremely funny. It was very nice to see that side of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your brother, was it your older brother was a drummer too?
Yeah, my brother Howie was the drummer, and one day a drum set showed up in our bedroom. And I was about maybe 8, 9 years old, and he's about 6 years older than me. And I was loving every minute of it. The fact that there was a drum set in the middle of the room, a very small room. The room was about 8 by 10 feet. And the only way you could get in and out of the room, you had to climb over the drums. Yeah. So I did everything he did. Yeah. Everything. Didn't matter what he did, I did it.
Slightly differently, because he was right-handed and you're left-handed.
Yeah, so for those who know drums, drum set is set up from, basically it goes from the left to the right. And right-handed drummers have to play cross-handed. So the hi-hat, you're playing with your right hand, you cross over and you play the snare with your left. Yeah. But I'm left-handed, so I play open-handed.
Aha.
Yeah. So
do all left-handed drummers play open-handed, or can they get a left-handed drum kit?
No, there are drummers that actually set up the drums the opposite
way. Right. Do you have an advantage playing open-handed?
Well, I think I do, because I can actually keep the rhythm going with my right hand, and with my left hand I can play percussion with the electronic pad on the other hand, and it worked. It worked out to be a good thing.
It's a major act of dexterity, drumming.
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Because your 2 feet are doing one thing. So it's some coordination there.
Yes.
I would imagine that's great for your brain.
It is. There was a study done about the brains of drummers.
Right.
That said that we are very intricate thinkers. And I was involved in actually a neuroscience study at Keio University in Tokyo, with a professor, the head of the neuroscience department, did a full study on drummers. It was a published paper. So on my Facebook page, if you look, you'll see some photos of me with this electrode thing on my head connected to a computer.
I wonder if they studied, say, for example, how many drummers get dementia, Alzheimer's.
Right.
Yeah.
It's probably a pretty low number.
Yes.
It probably is. Like, just recently, this very famous drummer named Steve Gadd, and I was in Tokyo and was invited by to see him. And Steve is 72 and is sharp as a nail. I'm serious. He is so amazing. He remembers everything. So I think a lot of times that is very important, to help with those particular medical aspects.
My dad was a drummer. And that's why I have an affection for drummers, and the drum roll, and the drum break, like the drum break in it, that's like, I remember just going to concerts, just waiting for the drum break. Being very disappointed if it didn't happen. Do Chic do a lot of drum breaks, or
no? We actually just recently we worked in a little bit of a drum break in the opening of the song that I do. And it just, with Nile, it's just about the natural progression of things. Yeah. He's not like a taskmaster when you're on stage. He wants a free sound, but he wants it also to be very cohesive at the same time. But he doesn't, relegate you to just being a certain way. And I like that.
You can play around.
So I was on, he introduced me, and I went into this thing, and he was like, oh, that's cool. Yeah, and he never said anything about it, so that means he liked it.
All right. So Stevie Wonder, Sting, Bette Midler.
Bette Midler.
Yeah.
I just worked with Roger Daltrey the other day.
Did you?
Yes, I did.
Who?
Roger Daltrey.
You
got me.
Got you there.
If I was on the drums, I'd go, pop. It was really, he's a very nice guy, too. Yeah. Very nice, and still sings all of his songs in the same key.
Because he's in his, is he 70? He must
72.
Be 72.
Doesn't look it and doesn't sound it.
Did you, because if you're playing Roger Daltrey, right?
Yeah.
He played with Keith Moon.
Yeah.
One of the greatest drummers of all time.
Exactly.
Is that pressure?
Well, it is, but what it takes is I call it access. You have to access that set and quality of sound. So it takes listening and understanding what is necessary.
Right.
Because when I teach my master classes, one of the things that I talk about is there's a humbling for all musicians when you play, that it's not about you. For me, it's never about me. It's always about the music.
Yeah.
Always. So if I'm playing Roger Daltrey, if I'm playing Bette Midler, whatever, I'm trying to access the right sounds to accentuate the music. That's just what I chose.
Because I remember hearing My Generation for the first time, the drumming in that. It's just,
Keith Moon is amazing drummer.
It's wonderfully all over the place.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
I said something to my friends the other day after we started rehearsing, and I felt this way for a long time. At some point in his life, Keith's life, he had to have been a jazz drummer, or he had to have listened to other jazz drummers, because his flow within the rock sound is very jazz formed. Yeah, it's very good.
You saw the Jackson 5 when you were, what age were you?
I was 9. I was 9 years old.
Where did you see them?
At the Apollo Theater. My mother let me go to the Apollo with my sister, and the only reason why is because my sister, who is just a few years older than me, the only way she could go to the Apollo, my mother said, you got to take your little brother. And that was a way to just keep her out of trouble, because she had to watch me. So when we were walking down 125th Street in Harlem, and I looked at the marquee and I said the Jackson 5, I saw the name. I'd never heard of them. So I thought it was a gospel group. I'm like, why is there a gospel group with all these soul groups and R&B groups? So on Saturday at the Apollo, you had a show, you had a movie, you had 2 cartoons, and then you had another show.
Right.
So if you got there early, you could see the show twice. So we got there for the second show, and we sat on stage on the right side, and we were maybe about 15 rows back, and they introduced the Jackson 5, and this little guy came out named Michael, and he tore the room apart. And I was totally amazed. And at that moment, I said, I have to do that.
Yeah.
I have to be on stage like that.
And you are.
Yeah, he was really, really amazing.
Right. People want to know, did you ever play with Prince?
I did.
Did you?
I did play with Prince, yeah.
Oh, God.
I played with Prince at the New Orleans Superdome. Yeah.
So this is 2 degrees of separation. I can't believe it. I'm talking to a man who talked to Prince.
Well, wait a minute. I said I played with him. I didn't say I talked to him. Prince,
did you not talk to him?
No, Prince was a very standoffish guy, and when he rehearsed, you can hear a pin drop. It was all about what he wanted and when he wanted, and you just waited until he spoke. You didn't speak to him.
Right.
You didn't.
You didn't speak until you were spoken to, and he didn't speak to you.
Exactly.
Right. Okay. But you were in his company.
Yeah. Well, we did perform together.
Yes.
But I never spoke to him. Actually, I was off stage.
You're a very honest guy, because you could have told me you did.
No, I wouldn't do that.
He's not around to contradict you.
Right. You didn't speak to me. No, I didn't. I didn't say it.
Don Henley. Did you ever play with Don Henley?
No, I didn't.
No. Okay.
No.
We could go on. I'm having my first drum lesson. I'm 70, says that texter. Isn't that amazing?
That's really good. And whoever that is, this is 70 is just as good as 7.
Yeah. You have your, go over to your drum kit.
Yes,
there.
sir.
I'll just remind him that Nile Rodgers and Chic and Ralph Rolle are playing Malahide Castle on Saturday, June 16th. Ralph is not only an accomplished drummer, he's also an accomplished baker, right? And he worked out early on in his life that roll, there's a drum roll and there's also a role in baking. Is that it, Ralph? Is that why you decided?
I didn't know you were a comedian, Ray.
No, I'm not. You're right. I'm not. Okay, so this is the first for me. We've 2 minutes to do this, right? Okay. So you've brought a track, right?
Yes,
right.
Yes.
Ralph has brought a track. Nile Rodgers produced David Bowie's "Let's Dance," and this is one of the tunes that they play because Niall brings everybody, he brings through the back catalogue, stuff that he did himself and stuff he produced and all that sort of stuff he wrote. So you're going to play along to, this is the first now, you're going to play along with Let's Dance.
Well, yeah, it's the song I do in the show.
Okay.
So, yeah, we're going to play a little bit in the studio live.
Right, okay.
On the Ray Darcy Show. Here we go. Okay, if you're listening out there right now, I want you to clap your hands. Say yeah. Say yeah. Now scream. Let's dance. Put on your red shoes and dance the blues. Let's dance to the song that's playing on the radio. If you know the song, sing it. Let's swing while color lights up your back. Let's swing, sway to the crowd through an empty space. If you say run, I'll run with you. If you say hide, we'll hide. All my love for you will break my heart in two. If you should fall into my arms and tremble like a cloud.
Thanks very much, Ralph Rolle. Ralph Rolle, ladies and gentlemen, on drums, it's Ralph Rolle.
Hey, knock your microphone.
There
Hey,
you go.
knock.
That's it from us. Mary Wilson's on the way. We're back tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Enjoy the rest of your Monday. Thanks, Ralph. Thank you.
Thank you, Ray.